about the place to live. My emphasis is always about information, especially when a man is going with his entire family. You have to find out about the city, find out about the country, find out about so many things that are necessary to or essential, to the comfort of your family. My name is Tulu Aladesomi, and this is Relocating right on YouTube. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel so that you can get notifications and all that information that you need. From time to time, you get the opportunity to ask questions, and then you also get the opportunity to have some of those little details that will be most helpful to you on this trip. Let's go on this journey. Hi, everyone. So it's good evening from Nigeria. It's good afternoon to you in Canada, in the US. It's good evening to you in the UK. Wherever you're watching from tonight, I'm just saying hello. Thank you so much for joining me today on Relocating Right. My name is Tolu Aladesomi, and I'm excited to be here with you this evening. Or this afternoon, whatever time it is with you, just to be able to help somebody who's trying to relocate to Canada right now. I know it's not just people from Nigeria trying to relocate, even people in the UK, even in the US, everybody wants to go to Canada, right? There must be something happening in Canada. And today I'm excited because we're going to be talking about it. Something that you need to know is that you get the chance to ask questions, somewhere along the line. So I want you to please get ready so that you can ask your questions. And I'm sure that my guest will be most delighted to respond to you. Now, something you need to know is this: we're not immigration experts, but with our experiences, we just feel like some of the things that we've experienced, we've been through, we've heard, we've learned, are some things that would be very helpful to you. Now, before you listen, before we start the program, I'd like to encourage you to please subscribe, to our YouTube channel. I'd like for you to also click the like button and the notification button. Make sure it is on so that you would get subsequent posts and videos when they come up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be bringing up my own guest today. He's my brother, and I've known him for a length of time. Really, really grateful to be able to have him up here. You're welcome, Egi.
Hi guys. Hi everybody. Pastor Tolu, thanks for having me here. It's an honor and privilege to come on your show. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. How's Cage?
Everybody's good. She's working. She's up there somewhere.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so we're going to start. I'd like for you to please introduce yourself, so we can at least have an idea of who is talking to us tonight.
Okay, and it will be very short because I haven't achieved a lot. My name is Egi Akiwe. I'm a father. A husband. I got 3 kids. My background is finance and marketing. I had worked about 9 years in banking in Nigeria between Zenith Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank. Spent most of my career in Guarantee Trust Bank. And sometime in 2014, I came over to Canada to study. So I did my MBA here in Toronto. I went to York University, graduated, and then joined the banks.
Okay.
So I work in finance, but recently I also run a business. I also run a few other businesses. So I have the 9-to-5 background in Canada, and I have the business background in Canada.
Okay, that's awesome. I guess you're really the right person to bring up here. I'd like for our people to learn and become a whole lot better than they've been, because things can always be better, for everyone at whatever season or stage they're in or they're at. Okay, so let me ask you, why was Canada the choice? I mean, you could have gone to Australia, you could have gone to Norway, but why did you choose Canada?
For two reasons though. My family, my brother and my sister lived here. They
Okay.
also they also live here. Prior to me
Okay.
coming in 2014, my brother had been here maybe 6, 7 years. So,
Mm,
and I used to visit. I used to visit.
okay.
My daughter was born here even before I came.
Yeah.
So KK was born here. We would come here for vacation and then go back.
Okay.
So around that time, I had worked in the bank for about 8 years, and I was looking to do a higher degree. I was looking to do a
Mm,
master, and I didn't want to do masters in Nigeria. You know why?
I know.
I, I everybody said go to UI and go to Unilag, just do a master's. I was living in Ibadan, you know. I was living in Ibadan. I was working in the Chiefs Bank, and everybody said go do a master's in UI. No, I don't want to do a master's in UI. So, I had come to Canada on vacation. The year my daughter was born, I went to about 3 universities to just speak with them and say, hey, what does it take to come here and study? And that's it.
Mm,
What I don't know, I go and ask. So I went to the schools
yeah, I like
and I,
that.
and I took brochures and I brought those brochures back to Nigeria and I was reading them,
Mhm.
reading them. And, Nigeria wasn't even as tough as this. Things were
I
not as bad.
know, honestly.
2014, I was just feeling like, man, I needed to go study, but where should I go? And but
Mm,
because I had family here, it was easy. And because I had visited here before, and then the buzz about Canada had just started. There was that,
mm,
it's such a nice place to stay. And I had come to see it. I loved it. And then the Nigerian community here was growing. I met a few Nigerians.
mhm.
It was just a natural choice to come. I also have families in the US, but schools in the US were a bit more expensive.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
really? So I used to think of the three, the UK, the US, and Canada. I thought Canada was like the most expensive of them. Or
No,
maybe
no.
it depends on the school.
It also depends. If you're looking at an MBA, if you're looking at an MBA, they are the most expensive degrees to study. And
Okay.
so I was comparing MBAs in the US and MBAs in Canada. It still was a bit cheaper to come here. And then the fact that I didn't have to deal with living expenses just starting off, I had to
Mm,
with my brother, made it a lot easier because living expenses are huge.
nice.
They are huge.
Yeah. So
Look at the
support,
school
right?
fees. Yes, people look at the school
Mm,
fees, but beyond the school fees, rent is a big deal in North America.
mm.
It's almost as big as a
Wow.
school. If you look at it, on the average, people pay for a room here about 1,500 for
Wow.
a month. So if you look at 12 months, and if your MBA is 2 years, you look at 1,500 times
Look
20.
at that.
That's
Mm,
what we pay like a master's for you in the UK.
wow.
You know what I mean? So because I had that support, it was easier for me to come here. And that's the reason I pretty much chose
Mm,
Canada ahead of anywhere else.
okay. Well, that's awesome. So now that we're here, let's just talk about that because somebody asked a question. I told you that even before we came up on the program, questions were already dropping.
Mhm.
Somebody asked a question about combining schooling and work. Okay, so this person says, as a student thinking to relocate to Canada for schooling, what are the, oh, no. Okay, so I guess that, okay, so the question is something around balancing schooling and
Working.
schooling and work. People make it sound that easy, but from what you just even said right now, I could tell that the fact that you had siblings and the support system, it made it easier for you. So somebody was thinking of going to school in Canada and perhaps it was even thinking of getting a student loan. How easy is it for them to be able to pay back their loan while they're working and studying at the same time?
I wouldn't say it's the right route to follow to amass student debts and pay back. Because if you come into this country with a student visa, you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week. And those jobs are not the highest paying jobs. So if you are carrying huge debts coming in, it becomes a problem for you immediately. Because if you flout the conditions of your visa, which is as a student, especially if you're single, if you're married, it's different. If you're single and you are allowed only 20 hours, how much more can you make on 20 hours to feed, to pay your rent, and then to service debt? It's tough. So the work, and so what some other persons would do is they would go look for jobs that pay cash. which is outside of here. It's something that we shouldn't exactly broadcast.
Yes, I get you.
But hey,
Oh, you guys call like under the table jobs, right?
yes, na Ninja, we do it. We do it. You know, you just go and hustle under the table job. But for me, generally, all that falls into trying to survive. Just trying to survive. Because hey, the government gives you 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Some Nigerians will use strong head to say I will go past 20 hours. No, I wouldn't advise that. So if you're on 20 hours a week, then it's very tough. But it's different if you're married. If you're married, your wife or your spouse, your husband can work 24 hours if they want. But you, who has the student visa, has only 20 hours. So you see what I mean? It's different from a single person to a married person. I was married when I came. So my wife was working. She could work as much as she wanted to support the family. I had only 20 hours. So it's different. If you're single, you cannot work more than 20 hours for your master's. When you graduate, then you can work however you want. So those are the things that whoever is trying to come thinking, okay, once I get there, because Nigerians always just think, once I get there, I can work. Don't worry, just get out of Nigeria, work, you pay back. It doesn't exactly work like that.
Yeah.
And we've seen instances where people flout these rules and they are put on the plane back to Lagos. You know, you don't want to be in that situation after going through all
the stress to come in the first place.
Then you flout it. If they catch you, they revoke your visa, you're back to Lagos. Or you start to run. You're on the run like a criminal. You don't.
Wow, thank you so much for that. So now let's look at somebody who's planning to come into Canada right now. Imagine they're thinking, maybe there's some who are still at that point where there are several options right now, because again, honestly, there's several options right now. So if somebody is then thinking about Canada, what is that strong thing you would say to them?
Planning. It's planning. You know why people say express entry is too long? It's because one day they wake up, NEPA takes the light for like 2 weeks and they're just angry and they want to leave Nigeria. Or they get in a pothole, their tire burst, and then they're just angry, they want to get out of Nigeria. You know, I always tell anybody, I get a lot of phone calls from Nigeria and people say they want to leave. And I try to have this conversation. Why do you want to leave? And the guy says, there's not been light for 2 weeks. And I said, that's not a reason you want to leave. That's not a reason.
Yeah.
Or I lost the tire because the pothole. That's not a reason, because after 2 weeks, if they bring light, your mood changes again. So if you want to leave Nigeria, it is something that you plan to leave, because you're probably thinking long term. So if you're thinking long term, you then know that it's not you cannot leave in 3 months. You cannot get to Canada in 6 months. You can't, you know. So if you have a plan, then there's not so much pressure, Pastor Tolu, to leave next month. But what I find is most people just say, oh no, I'm angry because maybe their bosses talked dirty to them at work. And then they're calling my phone saying they want to leave. So tomorrow, if your boss talks well to you again, you see the person relax. You know, so I say, you see now, bro, you really don't want to leave, because if you want to leave, you need time. If you want to come to school, through school, you plan. If you want to do an MBA in Canada, you have to go write IELTS. That exam, and you have to even do GMAT. It's GMAT, academic GMAT. That exam takes 3 months to study for. So you see what I mean? You have 3 months to study.
No, so it's not anything you're stumbling on, like you're really taking.
I wrote the exam the first time. I didn't pass enough. I didn't get the cutoff. I had to take another 2 months to write it, because it is very competitive. You've got to score 750 over 800 to get into the top business schools here. So the first time I wrote, I think I had about 680. It wasn't good enough. So I went back, I took another 2 months. So you see, 5 months, you've not even put in an application yet. 5 months, you are still planning, but I wanted to leave. So I stayed the course. When I wrote it the second time and I passed, then you start to write your essays. Essays, you revise them, read some YouTube, watch some YouTube videos, revise them. You know, so planning is my biggest advice to anybody that wants to go. Don't leave because you're just mad or you heard somebody left. you hear your neighbor left. Some people, once somebody else's leaves, they're angry.
Mm.
How did this guy leave? Then the mother, the wife is pushing the husband is pushing the wife. Sit down, talk as a family. Where do we want to be as a family? Put your kids into consideration and say, hey, do we want to go the student route or we want to go the PR route? Look at both and then get in. Don't jump in thinking, what is the fastest route to leave this country? That is the wrong way to
live. The wrong way to live is to think, what is the fastest route of getting out of this country? That way, your judgment is clouded. You're not able to think thoroughly. In fact, you might even find yourself in that situation where you're making the wrong decisions, or where you're doing things that can actually even get you into trouble, like legally.
That's why a lot of Nigerians are here as refugees.
Wow.
Because they were desperate to leave. So what they do is they go get the US visa. They get a US visa, they fly to the US, then they run through the border.
Wow.
And when they get here, they say, oh, Boko Haram is chasing me, or genital mutilation, somebody's chasing me, they want to beat me up, they want to kill me. So they go in and then declare asylum because they're desperate to leave, no planning to leave, they're just desperate. Yeah. So if they get a US visa, they hop on the plane, no plan, nothing, carry their children, hop on the back of a truck in the US, because the US and Canada share the same border, right? New York is, New York is 1 hour away from me. So they get to New York and then they just run through the border. And then when they get here, there is no plan. They go to the government, they start begging for food, beg for house, beg for everything. They don't have papers. The police is chasing them everywhere. They're working. Then it takes a longer time for you to become normalized in the system. You know what I mean? But that time that it's taking you to struggle through Canada, you would have used it in Nigeria. Take 1 year and plan. And because I always tell people, if you want to leave Nigeria, the earliest time you can leave, if the thought just popped in your head today, is 1 year.
Yeah.
If the thought just popped in your head today, give yourself 12 months. You cannot, except you want to be a refugee, then you take a passport, you take your visa, fly to the US, and then run through the border. A lot of people do it, Pastor Tulu, and I'm not going to say it doesn't work.
I know.
A lot of my friends do it. They're in my church. I see them every day. They work. It works, but it is not the smoothest way to get integrated into this country. It will take you a longer time to blend in.
Yeah, I know.
You will not have insurance. You will not have health insurance. You will not have a lot of stuff.
Please don't do it. That's what Ege is saying right now. Don't try to come in and seek asylum, because I can tell you that there are people who are really planning to do that right now. I know, I understand the fact that the insecurity in this nation right now is something else, but we can actually do it properly so that we can plan a good future, for our children. Hey, Roke, Giwa, good to see you. Roke Giwa Onofua. She's saying hi to you again.
That's my friend. Although she was my friend before. We haven't been catching up as much.
Oh my goodness.
But she was really my really good friend while I was still in Nigeria.
Oh yeah. Nice. Okay, so now let's talk about your integration. So how did you find, so when with your immigration, it was easy, going to school and everything, you had support. What I mean is, it was easier. I mean, you had support. I'm telling you, it's different from someone who doesn't even know anybody, coming into this territory. So I mean, though I know, again, the truth is, I know this, and this is one thing that we try to even emphasize here on Relocating, right? To say, look, don't live a life where you have to depend on people, because sometimes, thank God for your siblings. So again, I know that there will be families where there are Orishi people there.
I know.
I think you have a family person, and at the end of the day, your friend would do better than the family member. Anyways, so let's talk about integration into this system. It's new. It's a new country. So fine, you had even been coming for vacation and all that. So imagine that I've never been there, and even if you've been coming for vacation or even for conferences, is not the same as living there. So did you have, what helped you through it? How did you get into the system?
Okay. Your question is so very important and so telling, because if you've lived all your life in Nigeria and you relocate, no matter how smooth or no matter how many family members you have, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's easier for the kids. If you bring your kids here, it's easy because they're children, they're impressionable, right? They will just blend. But if you've lived 30 odd years in Nigeria and then you come in here, it's tough. I came into this country, there was a huge snowstorm. I landed, a week later, I resumed classes.
Wow.
And I did not drive. I had no car. My wife, we had sold everything in Nigeria. My wife had no job. I needed to be in class. So I will hop into snow, 15-inch snow. And my wife would make tea for me. I could not drink it because I couldn't bring my hand out of my pockets.
Wow.
And it was that cold. There was a snowstorm. And that was when I landed this country. I asked myself, some days I said, what am I doing here? I had a damn good job in Nigeria. I was doing well. Pastor Tolu, you know.
I know.
I was doing okay. And I said, I left everything to come in this snow. Why? What am I looking for? I can do an MBA in Lagos. But after a while, my brother was here. My wife was very strong. We just encouraged that. Then we had a church. We had a Nigerian church here, a small Nigerian church that would go to on Sunday. And then summer came. Summer is like Nigeria. The weather is like Nigeria, so slowly and then when you start seeing progress in school, my wife then got a job. She was working 2 jobs. She was working extra hours. Kids were put in school. The country allows you to take your kids to school without paying school fees. So education was free, healthcare was free. So that started to make it a little easier for us, but no matter how much it is, your first 1 year is the hard. There are days you wish you just go back home, your comfort zone. We had a big church in Nigeria. I had everything, man. And then I come here, it's just, everything is taken away from me. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a salary. So months would end, nothing, shishi, nothing. My wife will pay her salary and will pay rent, will pay everything, so slowly. But if you're determined and you're looking at long-term, your focus should actually be long-term. If you're looking at long-term and you're not looking at short-term, then it starts to get easy. Once you see your kids get into school, they get integrated, your wife gets a job, slowly it starts to get easy. But I always tell anybody coming in, say, man, your first 1 year will be tough. Families break up in 1 year in this country because of the stress. People think to come to Canada is just fun. If you don't have a strong bond with your partner and hang on to God, and everybody's helping each other, you are partners, you're not fighting each other. Because sometimes you come here, when the guy can't get the kind of job he wants, he turns on the wife. Or the wife cannot get a job, the wife turns on the husband. They start to fight. But if the two of you agree, and that's what my wife and I did, she was so understanding that I need to be in school, I will not have money. She was paying rent. There was no disrespect. She was paying the rent.
That was a good conversation to have, right? Without shame.
And you should have that conversation even before you leave.
Very important.
Knowing that things might not, if you are a bank manager, regional manager, keep it in your pocket.
That's so.
If you come here, so sometimes women start to earn more than the men, and then the men starts to get resentful. But if your marriage is based on love and the fear of God, then you would understand that you will ride it through. Because eventually, when I graduated and I got my job, my wife had to then go to school. So the roles reversed again. So I was now the one working again. She was now to school. But it was seamless because there was love and there was fear of God.
Wow, that's great. Really, really awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. Okay, so I want to take 2 things from there. You spoke about your wife needing to go to school. So are you saying there always is there always need for education? I mean, do you always have to have a university degree to be able to get a job? Okay, so
No, see, for me, right, my path was very different. And whenever I get a call about coming to Canada, I say, don't look at my story. My path was different. I don't even know if I've seen any other Nigerian in my circle that came for an MBA. And that's me just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of Nigerians doing very well without an MBA, even without a higher degree, even without a degree safe.
Wow.
They just came into the country because here, getting a job is not really about, it's not like Nigeria where our parents will say, go and get a university degree or else you will fail in life. No. If you come into this country, the experience you have coming into this country can help. Sometimes some roles, like the roles in where I work, which is finance, sometimes if you want higher positions, yes, an MBA helps you get through the door.
So that's leverage, yeah.
Yes, it leverages you because there are some conversations you cannot even be in if you don't have an MBA, right? But leave all that, Pastor Tulu. MBA costs $75,000 to do.
Hey.
No. Right now, it costs actually $99,000. So let's leave that one. Let's leave that one. But a lot of IT professionals come into this country. You know, the guys in IT, they really don't need a university. A lot of IT professionals, if you have all those IT, Java, Python, UX design,
I know.
the same. The guys in Lagos and the guys in Canada is the same skill. So they walk into this country and walk into a job. They don't need to go nowhere. Artisans come into this country and make more money than people that work in offices.
Yeah.
So don't let nobody tell you that you must have to get a master's, or because you saw me on this program, you think I'm not the standard to measure nothing. People coming here, a friend of, okay, let me just give you a typical example. Nkechi, my wife, somebody sends her a message on LinkedIn last week and says, hey, I just want to connect because I'm coming to interview in your office. And Nkechi says, I don't know if that role, she felt the role wasn't like the best role, but it's a Niger guy. So she was excited to talk to a Niger guy. So my wife takes the guy's number. The guy came in mail. Guy's details, sends it to my older brother. My older brother is in HR. He's a senior HR executive. So Nkechi sends it to my brother and says, hey, there's this Niger guy that's looking for work. He just got into this country in May or June. And my brother says, hey, come, let him come in and interview. I like meeting Nigerians. So the guy comes into the office, interviews on Friday. On Monday, they give him an offer to start work.
Wow.
The guy has not done any degree in this country. Has not done anything. And the guy calls my wife back, man, I've never met you before. How could you just be helping me like this? I have resumed work, so a lot of work. There's a lot of opportunities here. You don't necessarily need to get a master's. You don't even need a master's. Masters take too long to pay you back.
I know.
It's a long-term investment. You cannot take my master's away from me, even when I come back to Nigeria in 20 years. It's an investment in my person. So without a job, I want my master. That should be your decision. But if you're trying to find a way to enter the country, earn a living, make money, you don't need a master's degree. You don't. You just need your skill. If you're very good at what you do.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I do know that that's just one of the ways, because we're going to talk about the pathways, to come into Canada. And I know that for a lot of people, that's their pathway, because some are thinking, the express entry, this, that. But then the truth is that even this, the coming in through university education doesn't even actually guarantee you're coming in, because sometimes people are denied.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So, in fact, these days, there's a petition going on with the Nigerian applications with immigration consultant. Person Nkechi is an immigration consultant. She sees applications. And they turn down a lot. After you get the admission, you get everything. They tell you to go and bring an arm and a leg and bring all sorts of bank statement. They still just turn you down. For some reason, our country, as a country, they don't respect us a lot. They don't. And our leaders don't have arrangements with these guys here. Some other countries, the Indians,
they do. Chinese, I heard so, like Kenya.
Yes, the Indians and the Chinese, they have direct contact. The government to government contact makes sure that applications are not denied.
Yeah.
There's no program you get into this country where you don't find half the class Indians.
Wow.
But in my MBA, we were only 5 Nigerians. Only 5. So they turn us down more. So the fact that you got admission doesn't mean you get visa.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean at all. It doesn't guarantee. In fact, these days, the rate of refusal.
I know that. Honestly, I do.
That's why I say, take your time. Take your time. Knowledge is key. Understanding the process and be patient with it. If you want to leave, you will leave.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about the pathways. What are some of those pathways we could suggest to people apart from education?
You know, I think in the course of this conversation, we've touched on a few of them.
Yes.
For me, right, because I have hindsight, I am a little I'm biased towards express entry. I'm biased because I have a background. Because if you come in as a student, right, it takes you longer to integrate. If you come in as a permanent resident, which is express entry, everything is given to you, Pastor Tolu. Everything. The school fees I'm paying 75,000 out of pocket for. The guys that came in as express entry, the government gave them money, paid the school fees for them. Not only did the government pay the school fees for them, the government gave them pocket money to feed. While me, I was paying and borrowing money to add to the money, and all the houses I sold in Nigeria, I was scraping everything. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Those guys came into the country and government gave them 75,000 and then gave them 25,000 to feed.
Wow.
They had health insurance all covered. I did not have health insurance because I had to buy it. In fact, my very first year, I would tell my kids not to be running in the house so that they don't follow, so that we don't so that we don't go to, my wife can attest, so that we don't, I used to scream. My wife would be chasing them around. Don't run anyhow, because they didn't have health coverage, because you're a student. For you to do it, you have to go privately pay for it. And it was expensive. I was a student. I couldn't pay. So I said, we will not pay for insurance. My school covered me. I said, every other person, don't fall sick. Don't fall sick. And God in heaven, they didn't fall sick. Till now became Canadians. That was after graduation. So because of these things, I'm a little biased towards PR. It takes a little longer time, I agree. But it is more settling. You settle in faster. The day you come into the country, you're Canadian already. So you have healthcare, you have schools, you don't pay nothing. Because some of us that come as students, we carry debts for a long time.
I know.
Borrowed monies to go to school. So we have to keep paying back. We have to keep. Meanwhile, the guy that came in with PR, government gave him money and told him to pay back in 30 years. So he'll be paying $200 to the government, $200. Meanwhile, you've gone to borrow money from Lapo. So for me, I'm more a PR person, an express entry person, but school is faster. But like most people say, school is faster, but school is expensive too. School is expensive, except you don't want to stay in Ontario. You want to move to some very, very far-flung place where you will not see Nigerians and you might be racially abused, where it snows all the time and it's so cold, because some Nigerians will then go to places, far-flung places like Saskatoon, because the school is cheaper, but then you lose something. You don't find the likes of us. You don't find your type. You find white people, a lot of white people, and I can't say this outside, but they're still racial. There's still racism here. They will look at you funny. Your kid will be the only black kid in class. They will look at you funny. You know, so for me, I don't want to go stay in those far-flung places, because where we live, we have a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans, a lot of Caribbeans. You see people like you. The tension is less, you know. But if you look at both, it is your decision to make. If you have, some people have enough money to pay for school fees and say, I don't care, I will ride it out, fine. Some persons don't, and they take their time, write your IELTS, pass it, pull in your application. If you get the score, you come in, which is true express entry, which for me, I think still the best way to come in. And then the other option is where most people just run through the border.
What about this provincial nominee thing? Do you would you like for us to talk about it, or should I wait for our immigration experts to help us with that?
I can talk about it. The way that works is, so you know, express entry, right? It's a point system. It's a point system, and it's global. You're competing against people from all over the world. So in Canada, they would say, you know, this month we need a lot of people to come in. They will reduce the cutoff point. It's like jam. It's like jam. They will reduce the cutoff point. So you have a lot of Nigerians that are in the pool, a lot of people in the pool worldwide. And let's say, for instance, Pastor Tolu, your score is 410. and you are waiting. And Canada says, oh, no, we have enough people this month. There's no pressure. We don't want enough people. They'll raise the score to 470. Pastor Tolu, you know, you are still outside. They've locked you outside. They've locked you outside. You are waiting and it's raining outside. So maybe a month comes in and they say, we're looking for healthcare workers. We're looking for people to work in construction. I mean, we need people. They reduce the score to 406. Score is 410. No, you jump in.
That's how you come in.
That's how express entry works. So some regions, some provinces will say, you know what? Let's give an added incentive for people to come to our province.
Okay.
So I know you have 410. The cutoff is 470, right? If you elect to come to my province, Pastor Tolo, I'll give you 70 additional points. I give you 70 additional points plus your 470, you get what? 480. What is the national cutoff? The national cutoff is 470.
470. So that to 410. So that's how you come in. Yeah.
So that's how provisional nomination works. There are provinces, like those provinces I told you about, are very cold.
I know.
Very cold. Pastor Tolu, they will now say, come to us. People don't agree to come here. But Nigeria wants to go everywhere. Nigeria will say, anyway, where is the place? Where is the place? You know, so that's like the general way provincial nomination works. There are still some technicalities to it, but generally that's how it works. It is just a way to give you added points to come in, but you have to now go and stay there. I'm not now say, no, I want to come and stay in Toronto.
No, you have to stay there, yeah.
So what most Nigerians do, they go there, stay for a year or two, meet the criteria, and then after 2 years, they run.
Yeah.
This way. So it's another way of doing it by saying, okay, let's look at provincial nomination. But then, like I said, there are still some technicalities to it. Some regions will still, you need to have a family member living in that city already.
Yes, yeah.
For them to write you a letter.
But the thing about that one is that it's not all the provinces that are given to that one.
Yes, even that's back safe. There's a racket in it now. The Nigerian guys, they are now charging $10,000 to write you letters.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Do we do this for ourselves?
We will do it to our own guys. You know, I had a friend who wanted to come there, and we were looking for somebody to write a letter from Manitoba, and we're calling our guys like, guy, I beg now, help in Nigeria, brother. I said, man, it's 15,000. No, I said, what? 15K for letter, Ross. The guy said, for you because of your 10K. I said, 10,000.
Wonderful. Now so
for what? You know, so it's become a business. So whatever happens, people take advantage of it. So that too on its own has become a business that I don't even encourage people to do it, because it means you are coming into the country with debt.
Yeah. So, sorry again. Do you need to get water? Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. Hey, Niger. We're very wonderful.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so people, no, it's okay, please. If you have questions, please drop your questions right in the chat box so that we can ask. Wow, now wow, again.
This is what it is. Nigeria.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's move on from there. Now, people talk about Canadian work experience. I mean, what's that? In the light of getting a good job, must you always have something called the Canadian work experience?
For highly skilled jobs, especially, and I speak for myself, right?
Yeah.
Especially in finance, yes. If you're looking for entry level, no. Excuse me, please. One second, please.
Okay, all right. Niger or okay, you see, Niger, we are very wonderful people. There's this gist now. I was reading something.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was responding to our audience. Okay, so let's So go ahead.
Yeah. So if you want, like for me, right? Even with an MBA, I struggled to get into the top level finance job. Reason being that, and when I say high level, in Nigeria, you know, I was already manager of the bank.
Yeah.
In fact, before I left Nigeria, 6 months before I left Nigeria, I was managing the region. So I come here, I do an MBA, and then they tell me to take an entry level job.
Entry level.
They said your Nigerian experience is not, that's not the way we do banking here. And I said, what's so different? It's financial statements we're looking at, it's businesses we're looking at, and I have those skills. They refused. So
Wow.
I had to step down. So here you have to prove
But
yourself.
I liked that you tried to negotiate. I like that.
No, I was fighting, not even that I was fighting.
Now so.
Real fights. Eventually,
we should be quiet now. Waiting.
yes, now I'll show them my resume. I said I have 10 years banking, 10 commercial banking, lending, everything. They still refused. So I had a mentor here that said, you are negotiating from outside. Step in the door first and fight. So I took a lesser role and then I stepped in from inside. I started looking for other roles and eventually I stepped in. But it doesn't mean that every role requires Canadian experience. It used to be that some industry, well, it still is that in some industries they hold you to it, but some they don't. But the truth is, at the end of the day, right, it's okay to step down a bit and show them they made a mistake. But eventually, I still left that job. My first banking job, I told them eventually when they wanted to, I said, no, I'm not staying here. You guys didn't trust me the first time. I don't trust you now. So I changed 2 jobs. The truth is, once you get one, and this whole Canadian experience I'm talking about, 1 year you've gotten it.
Now so happy.
So don't let anybody use that to booga you.
Yes,
if one door doesn't open, check the next door. You would eventually find somebody.
Yeah, I like that.
They are looking for people to work, so you don't let that bother you at all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now let's talk about getting a job. This job in itself. From preparing the CV to preparing for an interview, what are just some of the little tips that you could give?
For me, right, one of the best ways to find a job here is to network. In Nigeria, they say connection. Here they call it networking. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. When you come into the country, you know nobody. Reach out to people that are ahead of you. There are a lot of Nigerians in different places working. Go on LinkedIn, you'll find a Nigerian name, send them a message. Some of them will bone you, but if you try 10, 2 would answer, right? So reach out to them. Then there are companies that help. There are a lot of resources that will help you write your CV. You can send it to them. They will help you check it for free. You can see sample CVs everywhere. If you're willing, for me, right, I feel like if you're willing to learn, there are resources to help. That's the difference between here and Nigeria. Nigeria, people are willing. There is no help. Here, there's too much help. People are not even willing. So if you're ready to have somebody look at your CV, there are people that will look at it for you for free. If you're looking for someone to mentor you, to help you with interview tips, there are people ready to do it for you. So go reach out. Just reach out to people. You meet, and that's where the Nigerian community is. Look out for Nigerians, look out for Africans, look out for Black people. If you want to work in a bank, I bet you there are 100 Nigerians already there. If you reach out to them, network with them, they will lead you. Look, just the example I gave, the way that guy got a job with my wife. They've never met. The only reason she did it was because he carried a Nigerian name. That was all. A Yoruba name, a Yoruba guy. Finished. That was on my older brother was he was the hiring manager. Imagine, he was the hiring manager. He will not take a Nigerian, he will not take another person ahead of a Nigerian. So reach out to people, speak with people. You will find there's a lot of resources to help you find jobs. A lot. Landing, look for those resources. Reach out to people. Don't be shy. What you don't know, ask. Once you ask, you find the help. Some people don't want to speak up, so whether they're ashamed or whether they I don't know.
Okay.
You don't want to ask. If you don't ask, nobody will come and give it to you.
I know. So let's tell them more. You gotta open your mouth and say something. And don't be ashamed, to ask for help, because, again, like you rightly said, you were coming from Nigeria where you were already not just a branch manager, you were already overseeing an entire region. So imagine you get there and you travel abroad, maybe not just to Canada, but to UK or anywhere else, and you're feeling like, I know where I'm coming from. I mean, so for some people, it's actually like pride, or some people are shy. Some people I don't know, different things, but just to say, please, just ask for help. I mean, there's always help. That's the truth. And then for those of us who are God's children, we should never even forget that part. I mean, honestly, God always positions people in different places to open the doors for us, to open the gates for us, to give us look at this guy that got that job, just because he was Nigerian. I mean, that's awesome, really. Yeah, so we have to all expect to find help whenever we get to that road, to that point where we need the door to open up. But it's important that you even just open your mouth and say something and ask for help, because sometimes some people think you're fine. That's why they're not even getting into your business. Okay.
Yes. Now, because I will not go asking you, hey, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
No, nobody's going to do that. Nobody has time for that. You are looking for something, you will be the one to ask, and there's no shame in it. And that's why it is good to be here. It's a country that levels everybody out. Whether you're a carpenter, you're a banker, you are a finance, there's no big man that is trying to lord himself. Your neighbor might be a carpenter. He has more money than you, Pastor Tolu. That's the truth. Most of the people in this country, you see all these Uber drivers, not like Nigeria, the Uber drivers in this country, some of them make more money than the people that work in banks.
Yeah.
A lot of artisans make more money than finance people. So he would stay in his house. He doesn't care about you. That's your business. So if you like, you are working in one big bank. The guy is a carpenter. He makes a lot more money than you. You buy a house, he buys his house. So if you don't speak up, nobody will know you're dying in pain. And it's not like Nigeria where everybody's all up in your business. Nobody sends you.
Yeah. I know.
Nobody sends, because if you poke your nose too much, they will say you are invading their space.
In fact, that one too, we did there. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, again. We have just a few more minutes to go, but I'd like to really maximize this time. Can we quickly talk about businesses? Okay, what kind of businesses can one invest in? What are the business opportunities available? I'm glad I'm talking to someone who's already doing the business and how it works. So please tell us about it.
So for me, right, the reason why I do business is because, like I said to you off camera, I'm getting old.
Please come off that thing again. You're not.
No, Pastor Tolusi, when you worked all this your life 9 to 5, sometimes you see how 20-something-year-old kids run. Look at Dame and Toby. They will run you ragged. It's not about whether you know what they will. So if you meet them at the workplace, they are way smarter, they're faster, they are more. So once you start to hit 40, the system will retire you. That's the thing about this system. Whether you agree or whether you don't agree, or whether you are doing a giddy, the system. So for me, and I'm always very long-term in my planning. I've always wanted to spend time with my family more, wanted to spend time with my kids, and I wanted to dictate my time. So I started to look out for opportunities or things to do. And this country is so blessed. Like they help you. If you want to go to school, they will help you go to school. They will help you pay school. If you want to do business, they will give you money. Go and set it up. So I like to look out. And there are a lot of small businesses you can do. I run a small cleaning business. So what I do is I get cleaners. They help people clean their houses, and we split profits. It's not the biggest type of business, but it works.
Okay.
And in this country, the good thing about it is if you come in and you live in it, you will start to see how people are. I don't want to use the word lazy. They like to outsource things. If their tap is bad, they don't have time to fix it themselves. They want to call somebody to do it. If you're a handyman, if you're coming from Nigeria, you're a handyman. Oh Lord, oh Jesus, you will make so much money, because the system, people like to maximize their time rather than spend 1 hour trying to find a way to fix that tap. He will call somebody and give the person $50 because his time is worth $100. So if you are somebody that knows how to fix toilets and the toilet is leaking, instead of the man to think of how to fix it, he will just send somebody in. So, artisans make a lot of money here. So if you're someone that has handwork, hand skill, women that make hair. Oh, my sister runs a salon. My wife cannot book her. No space. She does hair. That's what she does. She fixes you. I don't know if Pastor Femi would have met my sis. That's what She weaves hair. She has a salon in her basement. She didn't even have to go out. She has the salon in her basement. You know, so things like that. And I know a lot of Nigerians that come here have one kind of skill, hands.
Yeah.
We go to school, right? We work in banks, but we still have something we are good at. That thing,
I know.
you can monetize it in this country well. To fix
Yeah.
hair here, my daughter's hair is $50. Just weaving. 50. Imagine a girl comes from Nigeria with his wife, a husband, and all she does is weave people's hair. There's no cheating, there's no I don't pay you, there's nothing. Cash and carry. Those things are available for people to do, and the system encourages you. So if you're looking for grants, let's say, for instance, you want to even go large scale, there are grants that the governments will give you and allow you work payback over a period of 20 years. Do you know that during COVID, Pastor Tolu, during COVID, government gave $10,000 each to businesses to just help them. Say, we don't know, businesses, things are hitting you hard. They give all of us that have businesses 10K. If you have two businesses, I had two businesses, they gave me 20K. Say, take just to tide you.
But sorry, again, registered businesses.
Yes, registered businesses. You have to register. You have to register. If you're not registered, there's no way to find you. And that's how the system works. If you're not registered, how do we know you exist? Registered businesses, they will help you, you know. So if you want to expand and you're looking for a loan for expansion, it's there. It's just for you to sit down, think of an idea of something you want to sell to the public. People buy them off you. It's not something that we can exhaust in a conversation like this.
I know. Thank you.
It is in Nigeria, people have the same ideas, but there is no
there's
support.
Restriction. Yeah.
There is no support. If you can land in this country, whatever business you have in your mind in Nigeria, come and do it here. Come and do it. I guarantee you, you will find the money for free. Not for free, but there's governments to give you monies to do it for you to pay over a period of 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Sorry, Austin A, you're asking, can he share some of these resources that can help new immigrants to align their CVs to Canadian standards? Please, he already answered that question. Would you be kind enough to watch again, maybe after this broadcast or maybe some other time? But he's already responded to that, just so we can make the most of this next few minutes we have before we let him go. All right, so again, so how does a person understand this financial system, you know, so they don't get broke all the time?
Yes. So two things. This is what happens to most Nigerians when they come here. You see, when I talk about you get free money, you get free money. Money is not free. There's no free money in the world. But what happens to Nigerians is you when you land at the airport, Pastor Tolu, they give you a credit card of $1,500. Just give you. Nigerians will now say, wow, free money. You enter the store and then they start to spend, right?
It's not your own, no.
It's not yours. Because the country runs on credit, you have to build credit. So most of the banks position themselves at the airport and they give to new immigrants so that other banks will not take you. So they wait for you at the airport. But most Nigerians, because they don't know, they take the 1.5, they say, oh man, this is $1,000 free. Then they'll first do conversion in their head. $700. They'll say 700,000. You know, and then well, Canadian dollars is about 550. They say 500,000, they will start spending. The thing is this: if you miss 1 month's repayment, if you miss 1 month, your credit starts to go down. You will not be able to buy a house. You will not be soon enough. In 6 months, what happens to most Nigerians is in 6 months, they are back to ground zero. They are in so much debt. And now that they are now getting better, getting a job, they now want to buy a house. Somebody will look at their credit and say, hey, you defaulted. Because you defaulted, your interest rates will be very high. Or we might not be able to grant you credit. So what I tell Nigerians that come here, and I pick a lot of them at the airport, I say, hey, take the credit, but be very prudent with it. If you spend $100, put it back in. Don't look at it as free money. Look at it as a platform to build credit. Because if you build good credit, you will have everything you need in the country. But if you start to take those things and feel like it's time to take a vacation, it's time to go buy the Louis bag, it's time to buy that fine shirt, soon enough, 1.5, you think it's a lot, it's not a lot. You will run out. When they say pay back, you don't have it, they will start to hit your credit. And in this country, there's nobody to go and beg. I beg, so help me. The system will just be hit. And that's what Nigerians don't get when they come when they come. They think there's somebody to go and talk to bribe. I know this person, I know Pastor Tolu. I want to talk to Pastor Tolu behind. There's nobody to talk to. You know, it's a leveler. We're all level. If you do wrong, you're punished. If you do right, you're punished. You know, so when you take those credit, build credit. Because if you don't have credit, that's also bad. Because some persons will come in and say, I don't want to touch it at all. I don't want to touch at all. No. You have to touch it. But you have to be guided and know that you have a 30-day circle. If you pay before the date, you don't pay interest. Can you imagine? If you pay before the due date, you don't pay interest.
Wow.
So you can take it. So most times I say take it. Even monies that you have to spend, don't spend it. Spend the card, then put the money that you have to spend, put it back in the credit. That way, the bank sees that the guy is a credible person. They start to give you more credits and more opportunities. You can buy a house after 2-3 years. You can buy a house. You can do stuff. If you want to expand your business, you can take your credit card and use it to expand your business. But if you destroy your credit, that's the end, because this country runs on credit. If you don't have good credit, you're dead. Pretty much. So caution is key. Caution.
Yeah. So basically, because we don't have the time to talk so much about this, everyone who wants to relocate to any of the Western countries must understand how this works, because that's how the country runs. That's how the economy runs. So I guess that I would have to actually do an entire 1 hour just on the credit system, understanding it, building credits, you know, and not getting into debts and all of that. So we'll take our time to do that. Thank you so much, Ege. Do we have any other question? I think there was a question. Somebody was asking a question about IT. So let me see that question again. So he said, can he share some of, okay, no. Sean, can I please see the question? There was a question that was asked. Okay, so somebody was saying something about some of the hot IT skills that are required, but I don't know if, is that your field? Would you be able to help?
I'm actually not an IT person, but generally, right, the guys that have Java and Python skills, I have friends that have those. They are hot cakes. Software engineers are hot people. People that have UX and UI design skills are pretty hot. If you are tending towards IT, you should know what IT jobs are available, and these are things that you can easily find on Google. But generally, I'm not in IT. I'm in finance. But generally, IT programmers, Java, those boys are on a different level.
I know, right? So for the guys who are into IT, it's an awesome opportunity for them, right?
It is. It's hot cake.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much, Ege. We really need to let you go at this point. What one thing would you like to say, you know, to everyone who's listening right now and who would join the broadcast, who would watch this some other time? What one thing would you like to say to them?
First off, I would like to thank you for letting me come on. I haven't spoken to you directly for a bit, so it was nice to hang out with you.
Thank you.
More. So I'm happy that you gave me a chance to come on here. That's one. Two, I would like to tell whoever watches your program, and also I want to thank you for what you do. I watch your show though. You might not see me a lot in the comment section. I've been watching a few before this. The guy that talked about the UK, and then the lady came on, I think for the US. I've watched those two relocating.
Okay, thank you.
And I really do like them. I think it is so nice you do this, because a lot of people, I see them come here without enough knowledge, and then they start, you know, like Nigeria, we always try to do a giddy, let us rough it. It's never the way, because our system is so bad. That's the only way we know how to do things. Just bully ourselves around it because we don't have the opportunities. But I think with what you do, you give people that leverage to learn stuff so that nothing is done blindly. And that is so key. Knowledge is power. You know, on top of that, I would tell whoever's watching this to just be patient. whatever God has set in your heart for you to do,
Keyword.
It will come to pass.
Mm.
Relocating is a big family decision. Even if you are single, it's still a big decision. It's not something that you want to whip and say, hey, I want to go now. And in 3 months, oh no, I'm sick of it, I'm sick of it, I'm sick of it. They kidnap somebody in Kano, they kidnap somebody in Maiduguri, I'm leaving, you know.
I know.
Be patient with it, invest knowledge in it, watch videos like this, go online, build your knowledge so that whoever is trying to help you will meet you at a point where you guys can talk well and you can understand it, because there's really no time for one person to be explaining stuff to you all day and night. You go and do the learning yourself, so that if you then need somebody to top up for you, they will just give you a little, because you already have background. You've watched videos like this, repeatedly put yourself. It's like reading the Bible over and over and over and over again. You already are in that space. So if somebody's telling you something about a verse, you already have seen it. You know, it's not like it's new. You know? And then to crown it all, put your trust in God. You can try everything. You can watch all these videos. You can do everything, but pray about your life decisions and seek God's face in it. Ask God, because sometimes the favors you will find, other people might not find it because of God. Just because of God, you know, you might want to do express entry, you might want to do school, you might want to run through the border. Pray, hold your wife down, bring your kids, pray about it, discuss what you want to do, seek the face of God with it. I always believe that everything you want, that you've put God in and you really, really want it, you get it. That's for me, Pastor Tolu. For me, everything I've asked God, I've always gotten. My country, Canada, I told God I want to leave, and I want to leave in a year. I left. But I wanted to work in the banks. The first bank job I got, I didn't like it. I told God, I want another one. I got another one. I told God I wanted to head the bank. I headed it. I thought I wanted to leave. I left.
Yeah, praise
everything
God.
I wanted, I get.
Amen.
Not because I'm the best, or sometimes it's just God's favor, because you are asking
I'm
him,
telling you,
worshiping him, you are telling him every day, help me, God, I'm waiting. No, I'm holding your hand, I'm at your feet serving you. I will not leave till, you know, the way the woman held Jesus' garment, that's how I hold it. I will not leave. You sort it out. You know, so if Canada is your dream, if US is your dream, if the UK is your dream, put the work in. Listen to programs like this. Seek the information and seek the face of God. That's my story.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Egie. I actually absolutely love that God factor. Honestly, somebody just put it there now. Dazzling young wife, she said the God factor makes the difference. Yes, it really does. I can attest to that, you know, that the God factor makes the difference in every decision that we make, because somehow it just makes it look like you know what you're doing. But the truth is that when you're actually being asked, how did you, a lot of times you're wondering, even I don't know. And it feels like one proud response like that. But the truth is that we're just being helped by God. We're just being helped by God. I can see you, Big Mommy. Yeah, thank you for joining this broadcast. So, Roke Giwa, thank you too. Sister Bumi, I can see you there. Yeah, all my Canadian people, Niger people, everybody, thank you so much for joining for our silence, or what's it called? Yeah, she's silent name, because you guys have not really chatted or put anything in the chat box, but I know you're there. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Egie. It's been such a beautiful, beautiful one tonight. Learned so many more things, and I can't wait to bring you back some other time. I guess this time I'd like for us to talk about the financial institution itself, or the financial management. I think we really need to do that, because even if I'm thinking of doing business, again, if I really don't understand that system, honestly, you could mess things up. So I think it's just best that you really understand. I mean, for you who even studied MBA, I mean, it took you to the roots of Canadian dollars, so you understand how it works. So I really look forward to being able to bring you back some other time.
Just send me a text. That's
I
all.
will.
Send me a text.
Thank you so much. Everyone who's hooked on to Relocating Right tonight, just simply do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd like for you to please do that right away. I'd like for you to please just click on the like button. You'll see right there, just click on the like button. And then lastly, I'd like for you to put on your notification button so that you'll turn on your post notification, and then let us help you to get notified each time something is uploaded. Thank you, Sabumi. You just helped me to put up the IT pathway thing. Which one is okay? I guess that I'm going to bring somebody else back to talk about that, especially somebody who is into IT and will be able to help holistically, whether you're in Canada or in the UK. But because right now, you know how these things work. A lot of people even work from Nigeria, working and earning their dollars even from Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much. Also for real, God bless you. Thank you for joining tonight. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. That's what you should do right away. And then, of course, hey, Gwega, good to see you. Wow, awesome. If you're watching, it means Tenny is also watching. Good to see you guys. And Sean, great to see you too. Maybe Pastor Somi is on the call as well. Oh, we miss you guys. We love you. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, apart from subscribing, can you please tell somebody about this? Let's have more and more of our tribe, meaning the people in our family, the people around us. Let more people excel. One of the things that I'm most passionate about and that drove me to start doing Relocating Right is the fact that I really cannot imagine seeing somebody leave this country and go picking crumbs, in another country. It is not the will of God. It is not the will of God. God prepared for you bread, not crumbs. So it's not just about being in Nigeria, being in the UK, being in Norway, wherever you are, bread is what God has planned for you, not crumbs. So how do we get that bread? That's what this is about, so that you plan from here, that your life becomes successful, your family is taken care of, and God is glorified in your life. Thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again. Have a beautiful night. Thank you. Nobody should be under pressure when it comes to making a decision about the place to live. My emphasis is always about information, especially when a man is going with his entire family. You have to find out about the city, find out about the country, find out about so many things that are necessary or essential, to the comfort of your family. My name is Tulu Aladesomi, and this is Relocating Right on YouTube. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel so that you can get notifications and all that information that you need. From time to time, you get the opportunity to ask questions, and then you also get the opportunity to have some of those little details that will be most helpful to you on this trip. Let's go on this journey.